go wrong with such joy. I love it. Thank you, choir. Thank you. Psychologist Thomas Holmes was the first to develop a stress scale, which measures stress in life at any given time. For instance, if you lose a job, it accumulates 35 stress points. Getting married, doing all the wedding arrangements, that's about 50 stress points. Moving to a new city, 25 stress points. So Thomas Holmes concluded that just living through a typical Christmas season produces 14 stress points. According to him, if you have a score over 200 stress points, you are considered to be in grave danger of a nervous breakdown. Now, let us apply this to the Virgin Mary during the first Christmas. I would say that any pregnancy is worth 40 stress points. Unplanned pregnancy adds 20 points to those 40 points, so we're at 60 points. How many stress points do you get after having to tell your parents that you're a virgin and pregnant? I don't know. Then Mary had to move in with a relative, Elizabeth, for 3 months. I'm thinking I'm going to add another 25 stress points to that. Marrying Joseph produced another 50 stress points, so that we're at about 135 stress points so far. Now, let's imagine that there may have been a bit of an argument between Mary and Joseph when Joseph failed to make a reservation in Bethlehem during the holiday season. I'm just saying, that is stressful. So let's just chip in another 35 stress points. Giving birth earns 39 points in total. We're at 209 points so far. Weight gained from being pregnant, then there's changes in sleeping and eating habits. I'm thinking I'm adding another 31 points. And then there's all those unexpected guests. My God, there's angels and shepherds just arriving and leaving, not to mention there were 3 VIPs, and that is stressful. The 3 kings from the east calling on the new family. So we're estimating Mary's stress level at an astounding 424 points. And yet, she remained very calm and at peace. How did she do that? So today, we're looking at the spiritual quality of peace. Our unity teachings is that let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. My friends, if you are seeking peace, I want you to know something, and that is peace is always present. Now, it may not look like it in the third dimensional world, but let's look at this from another perspective, shall we? If part of the essence of God is peace, and God is everywhere present, then there's not a spot where peace is not. Peace cannot be found apart from God. Now, let's get back to Mary and the Christmas story interpreted metaphysically. Mary represents innocence and the purity of consciousness. And she's visited by the archangel Gabriel, the bringer of good news. And Gabriel says, "Hey, Mary, you're going to have a baby." Can you imagine if that occurred today? You'd be like, "What? That's not possible. That doesn't follow the science." You would be in complete resistance. And yet, what Gabriel is saying is higher laws are here to be activated through you. And what she says is it's so wonderful. It's quite dramatic. What she says to the angel Gabriel is, "Then let it be. Let it be." This is what is here. If this is what I am called to do, then let it be. What a magnificent teaching right there. This is what we are invited to do, to be peaceful-minded. I love what Thomas Merton said when he said, if you are at peace, then at least there is some peace in the world. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And here is the ultimate truth. The more you establish that peace within, the more it is available out in the world. For the outer world is simply just a reflection of your own inner world. So the more at peace you are with yourself, the more you attract peaceful people, peaceful situations, peaceful experiences. Now, how many times do we get stressed out by wanting to fix things, to control things, to make things happen? We have all been there. And we move into actions that are probably not very helpful. We may hurt others by pushing our own agenda, thinking that it's got to be my way. Have you ever done that before? It's got to be my way. How many? I mean, I can't be the only one up here. Every day, we have opportunities to get upset, to be offended, to get worried. People get on our nerves, and then there's unexpected setbacks. And if you wait for all those circumstances out there to calm down, to have peace, then you are going to be waiting for a very long time, because peace is an inside job. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there are times on planet Earth where people will do some interesting things and they will annoy you, and there will be difficulties and there will be distractions. And we must keep in mind, it's not the world out there that is disturbing your peace. It is your judgment of them that is disturbing your peace. And that is a big difference, my friends. I'm going to repeat that again. It's not the world out there that is disturbing your peace. It is your judgment of them that is disturbing your peace. Again, peace is an inside job. So the question is, what if you didn't want others to be different than they are? As Mary said, let it be. Just let them be. What if you weren't attached to forcing or fixing something to be different than what it is? Just let it be. The author, Mel Robbins, wrote a book a few years back. It's called The Let Them Theory. The Let Them Theory. The Let Them Theory is a way to address your own anxiety. And this is what she says about the Let Them Theory. She says, it is a way for you to let people be who they are. It is a way for you to get out of other people's business and stick to your own business. And it is a way for you to create your own inner emotional peace, to not whip yourself into a frenzy, to stop meddling in things that are not of your concern, and to stop the knee-jerk need to control or comment on everyone around you. My friends, bottom line, the let them theory is used in a moment when you feel yourself ramping up the control, when you are getting your knickers all in a pinch, when you can't believe that so-and-so did such and such, or that you're just thinking that, oh, they didn't invite me. There's all these other friends getting together over here. My roommate doesn't always do this. They're in town and they didn't call me. You know, the inner noise. The inner noise. The let them theory is a form of radical acceptance. Let them. Just let them. Let them be free to be who they are. Give them the gift of not controlling, and you get the gift in return of less stress and more peace. Other people get to be themselves. Other people then will get to make their own decisions, and you get to let them. Now, a little caveat. That doesn't mean that you let someone just walk all over you and you let them have their agenda on you, right? Here's an example, because it's always good to practice self-care. An example, my mom was good friends with Louise Hayes, and the author, Louise Hayes, in case you didn't know who she was. One day, she and my mom were having lunch together with another well-known author and fantastic teacher. And Mom and this other author were just going down the rabbit hole of negativity. And I'm not sure what the conversation was, but as my mom relayed the story, negativity and collaborative judgments were all about the conversation. And Louise, being so devoted to these teachings and to her own self-care, got up from the table and she said, "My first priority is my inner peace. I'm going to leave the table for about 10 minutes so that you can finish this conversation, after which time I would like for you to join me in a higher conversation when I get back." So she gets up, she leaves. Well, that was a real wake-up shock for both of them, because they both realized they are teaching these truths, but they acted like they were the exception. Let it be. Let them be, and take care of yourself at the same time. I have walked away from many conversations because my first priority is peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And they still get to be who they are. I get to be who I am. Just let everyone be who they are. Let it be. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let me rise to a higher level. Let me be the one to bring healing peace into the world by being the one to have peace within. Now, for a moment, if you will, let's delve in just a little deeper into what it means to force things to happen in your life. Because forcing anything seems pretty stressful, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like it when you're trying to force something to happen? When you force, you are operating from a place of lack and desperation. You are saying to the universe, I don't have what I want, and I must struggle and strive to get it. But in doing so, you are affirming the very lack and limitation that you seek to overcome. Think about it. If you truly believe that you can tune into God's great peace within, that you already have peace within, why would you try to clamor to try to find it in the world? It is a third-dimensional world. Remember, Jesus said, in the world you will have tribulation. It has always been chaotic. You cannot find peace out there. What if you would just simply relax into knowing that peace is already yours? And it's true, the kingdom of heaven is within. It's already yours. This, my friends, is the great secret, the feeling of peace that is always present. There's a part of me that wishes that Unity would adopt the traditional Jewish Sabbath, or also called Shabbat, that begins at sundown on Friday evening. And it is when you unplug from your phone. How many could unplug for your phone for 25? Yes, oh good, we have a few that could, definitely. You unplug from your phone, you unplug from TV, or any kind of work, and it is a time of rest for 25 hours. It is a weekly 25-hour observance from sundown on Friday until the completion of nightfall on Saturday. And Shabbat is more than just a day off from labor. It is when everything stops. I wish we would do this. It's when everything stops and they remember their faith. Those of the Jewish faith do not stop when things are finished. They do not stop when things are completed with their phone calls, with their getting their ton of emails done, or getting out a report that's due on the following Monday. They stop because it's time to stop. And they are taught that their attention should be directed towards holier thoughts. Sabbath requires you to surrender. It keeps your attention off the noise of the world. It requires you to just let it be. No longer do you have to be in fix-it mode. No longer do you have to force anything. You just let it be. So maybe just being silent for just 20 minutes a day is your Sabbath, and it is during your silent Sabbath that you replenish your peace. If any of you have ever been on a silent retreat, a silent retreat is a time when there's no talking, you unplug from the world, and you know, if you've been on these retreats, you know what it's like when you reach pure peace. There's no disturbance in your head, no agendas, no judgments, pure silence, pure peace. Meister Eckhart said, "There is nothing in the world that resembles God so much as silence." Silence is the great healer of the soul, my friends. It is the greatest way to reach the peace within. One of my favorite Christmases was in 1987. And I was in between churches, so I had the Christmas holiday off, which is rare for ministers. And my mom was going to ministerial school at the time. Yes, I went to ministerial school before her. She used to tease me by saying, "She is my senior minister." I loved that, by the way. And so I visited her out at Unity Village for Christmas. And that year, we decided to take on the idea of who could we make a difference in their lives? How could we offer peace? And then we remembered all those who were working tirelessly at Silent Unity. Now, just in case you are new here and you don't know what Silent Unity is, it is at Unity Village. That's our little village in Missouri. And there is this section where you can call them and they will pray with you, and they will keep you on their prayer list for 24 hours a day for 30 days. And they are there, their service is to help you to reach a higher, holier thought than the one you first called with. So my mom and I found out that there were going to be 30 people working on Christmas Eve, answering phones, praying with those that had no place to go, or those that felt alone or depressed or dismayed by the whole Christmas season. To us, they were our true heroes. They truly are our heroes in Unity, offering prayers just to bring precious callers into a place back into inner peace. So we decided to make for all of them a full course meal. And it was, casseroles and side dishes and desserts. And as we got out of the car with these boxes in hand, we walked toward Silent Unity, and it began to snow. You know that first snow? It's beyond silent. It is the most serene silence. You know that kind of silence anyone ever experienced? Yes, a number of you have. It's so quiet. And Mom stops and she says, "Do you hear that?" And I said, "What? What am I hearing?" "Do you hear that peace that is beyond all understanding?" And I did. And she did. And it was a moment of pure bliss. And so we went to the door of Silent Unity, rang the bell, and a couple of security men came to gather up everything that we had for them and the Silent Unity workers. And they said, give us a moment. Go out and stand where you can see the window of light. So we went out where we could see the window, and the workers, in between their calls, one by one, took about maybe 3-5 minutes, came out to the window saying, "Thank you, we love you," and we're like, "Oh my God, this is fantastic." It was just so amazing. Here's a slide of Silent Unity. That's what we saw, the light that shines for each one of us. It was so magical. Our hearts were full. My friends, When you are at peace, it transforms not only how you see the world, but how you interact with it. Right now, we're going to take a moment just to have an opportunity to give peace to one another by first seeing it within ourselves. So I'm going to ask you, if you will, just close your eyes and remember that time when you heard a silence that was beyond all understanding. It was pure peace. Maybe remember a time when you were just washed over with a peace that cleansed and purified your whole being. And as you remember that time, I'm going to ask you to just send a blessing of peace to all those here, our Sunday school, and those online. Send peace, a magnified peace, because we're all doing this together. Such a blessing. And then let us just sit in pure peace, in pure silence. And it was peace that came down at Christmas time. May each of you feel the peace to just let it be. Let them. For this blessing of greatness, of great peace, we do give thanks. And so it is. Can I get an amen? And so it is. Thank you.